Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 30th. It is 6:23 right now. We have market opening up in about 7 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our address. Sorry, we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Cody's just walking by right now, sneaking by. All right, so let me finish getting this set up real quick. All right, looks good. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, as people start joining in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Going down on the 4 hour. Down to the 1 hour. 30 minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And back down to the 1 minute over here. All right, looks good. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 30th. It is 6:27 right now. We have market opening up in about 3 minutes. I marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity above is at 40,363. This will probably get hit pre-market. It's currently sitting at the session, so it will probably bounce off and hit the liquidity here and probably push up higher. Lower level right here is at 40,250. Other than that, let me go ahead and identify the news for today. So for the news this morning, we had high impact news. We had actually medium impact news at 4 o'clock. High impact news at 5:15 was negative. High impact news at 5:30. And that's about it for here. So 4, 5, 5:15, and 5:30. Let me go and mark that up real quick. 4 o'clock. A weird time for news. Mark it up anyways. So 4 o'clock. 5:15. And 5:30. It's like crazy looking candle right here. Then we have more news at 6:45, Chicago PMI, which is inflation news, core PC price index at 7. So 6:45, 7, and 7:30 we have gas stock change. Six 45, 7, 7:30. Something to pay attention to. All right, guys, if you're looking to take the breakout, looks like the breakout for today is going to be a buy. You can see the liquidity here got knocked out already. We have a buy signal right here. So breakout for today is going to be a buy. ATR right now is currently at 23. So it's actually pretty decently high right now for market open. Hey, Sam. Morning. Yes, I'm also confirmed it's the last day of the month as well. Something to keep in mind. Hey, Maria. Morning. Morning, Lila. Morning, Ben. Morning, Steven. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Christian. Morning, everybody. All right, guys, market is now open. We're getting this big spike on open. This is kind of similar to what's been happening lately. So like I mentioned before, for the breakout, a lot of times it's better just kind of wait a little bit. Not every day is going to be the same, but for the past couple of weeks, obviously these big spikes been happening. All right, here, let's take a look at the overall trend. So looking at the overall trend for today, it actually looks like price is trying to shift to the downside. So looking at this over here, we've got the 4-hour, which is bullish neutral. We have the 1 hour, which is neutral, 30-minute, which is bearish, 1 minute's bearish, 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish. So everything here is kind of shifted to the downside. Looks like price might be attempting to come to a bearish trend. I mean, it's been bearish on the 1 minute, but on the higher time frames, looks like the lower time frames are leading. The 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, all bearish. 1 hour is turning bearish and 4-hour is neutral. So we'll see what happens here shortly. Anyways, this level of liquidity, I mean, basically faked out around that area, came below. It's like that setup that Brock is looking for here. So price basically faked out at liquidity right here. It grabbed liquidity, came down, break and retest off this liquidity zone. And we'll see if it keeps dropping from here. Ideally, it looks like what's going to happen. Let me go and set my ATR a little lower for right now. I mean, it's pretty okay where it's at. It's at 32, but it's probably going to be a little higher if I adjust it. It's at 42. So it's pretty high. Pretty high right now for the most part. So I'm going to wait for the market here to present itself, give me something to work with, and then possibly look for entry here. This could be a possible MPSV2 for a sell. So that setup that I was mentioning from Barack, this would be a sell entry for him here. I don't know if Barack's here right now, but it looks like it's about to hit. There you go, full TP right there. So this is the entry that me and Barack were kind of talking about. So price basically grabbed liquidity right here, came down, retested the liquidity zone, and that would have been the entry right there that Barack has been looking at. I'm going to keep looking at it. It's not a strategy that we're following yet, but it's something that we're kind of paying attention to because it does go hand in hand with the MPSV2. So a lot of these strategies here, they go hand in hand with MPSV2, like market flow goes with MPSV2, the original MPS goes with the MPSV2. This strategy right here as well looks like something that could be promising. So I'll keep looking at it. It's just with this one specifically, you don't necessarily look for the retracement and confirmation. You kind of just catch that break and retest. So what happened here is price came up to liquidity, came below, retest the liquidity zone, came back down lower. Basically, the MPSV2 is just, it happens a lot faster. There is an MPSV2 that's starting to set up here, though. If anybody's looking to take it, I might be able to take this as well. Obviously, I would take it for a 40-40, not 30-30. ATR is a little high. So if this candle closes green, let's take a look at the confluences. So 1 minute over here. 1 minute, kind of a rejection right there. There's nothing on the 30-minute. There's a rejection right here off the 1 hour. Volume profile, nothing really there. Clean chart. Nothing really there yet. Support resistance chart. See if there's new zones here. A little much down here. There's not really that many confluences yet for a sell, at least not yet. I mean, there's nothing on the 30. Sort of one here on the 1 minute. 1 hour, there is a rejection, but there's rejections on both ends. Nothing on the volume profile. This one's kind of tricky. Rejection here on the clean chart at the 40,250. Basically a rejection right here as well off the 1 minute support resistance. I don't know. It's a little tricky right now for this sell. This kind of depends on how this candle here closes. See, the thing is, it's a little choppy. It's kind of bouncing back and forth at the moment. Yeah, I don't like the choppiness of this candle. So I'm probably going to sit out on this one first, let the market kind of stabilize a little bit before I start looking for some entries here. I don't even know if this candle will close red, but you can see how this candle here is kind of bouncing back and forth. This is what throws me off because see how it pushes back into a green candle? This thing could easily shift, either direction at the last second. And the candle there did not close red. There's also a pending buy signal right here. This makes it a tricky area for it to, obviously take entry. ATR is fluctuating a lot too. It's going between like 45 to 50 to 48. Yeah, this is a possible MPSV2, but I don't think the confluences here are that good. There's a 1 hour confluence right there. MPS or volume profile, nothing there. There's a clean chart rejection. I mean, this could be a good entry. Never mind. This candle's way too big. I take that back. This candle's just way too big. I wouldn't mess with it. Because if it traces back to the halfway mark, it's probably going to stop you out before it goes back down further. You might retrace up a little bit and then come back down. Yeah, this candle is way too large. I'll mark it up for you guys. I'm not going to take it. I'll follow it if it maybe swings up and then maybe comes back down, maybe for a late entry. But I'm not going to hop in right here. It's just a little too tricky for me because that candle was pretty big. This is for 40 points. Obviously, if you want to go lower for 30, looks like it probably would have hit already. Yeah, 30 points would have hit. 40 points on its way down. Yeah, Christian also confirmed candle was too big. Full TP right there. This is another break and retest pattern right here. Price broke below. Faked out, retest the area. So the entries are hitting. I mean, that's a good sign. Good sign is the entries are hitting. It's just these are like risky entries to be taking. Like I said, I'm kind of just taking it easy right now. There's going to be more entries, so there's no need to force anything here. Which actually would have been. So looking at this MPSV2, this was also it was an A++, so it was A++ plus MPSV2. Because we had the engulfing V1, we had the MPSV2 that came up. Right here is also engulfing V1. And here's another setup for like what me and Barack have been kind of looking at as well. And these entries are hitting pretty nice today. So basically we had the fake out right here off liquidity. Price came down, retested the liquidity zone, which is right there, right here. That was an entry. And then another one right here, price broke below, retest. Basically broke and retest the liquidity right there. So this was an entry, and then again right here, price broke past it. Basically, it was all in one motion. This right here was one entry off this candle, and then it broke past it on that candle, retested it, came back down. There's another entry right there. So the setups are looking pretty decent. Looking this up right now. Shabam said, hopefully fake out top side, then continuation downwards due to very poor GDP results. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that's causing the market to kind of drop a little bit. If you guys understand like the sell in May concept, the long-term traders are selling right now as well. So like if you look at the macro aspect and the fundamental aspect of it, if you guys have traded like over a whole year period, typically there's a saying, it's called sell in May, go away, right? So basically the market slows down around the summer. So a lot of people try to sell off in May. It's the 30th today, so tomorrow's gonna be May 1st. A lot of people try to sell off in May and then they just kind of go away. And these are like the bigger players. So when they sell in May, the market slows down for summer and then it picks back up in the winter. So there's the macro fundamental side of things where people typically sell around this day and around this time. And then also tariff news, and then also like what Shivam also mentioned, uh, the GDP results. So we'll see. I mean, there's stuff happening behind the scenes. You got to think about you can't just focus on just the tariff news, right? Because if you're focusing just on the tariff news, then you would expect the market to go up because there are agreements being set in place. So people think the market's going to be better, but you got to think about like what normally happens when the tariffs aren't controlling the market. So just keep in mind, there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that like if you haven't traded long enough, you're not familiar with like this stuff. But everything's kind of news driven. So like right now, price is dropping. It says Dow slides 400 points after data shows the economy contracted last quarter. That was obvious. People have been saying that we're going to a recession. So with that said, this will post up and then eventually it'll probably swing right back up. It says Trump blames Biden for overhang after GDP data comes in negative. Yeah, which was expected, right? Trump says tariffs will soon start kicking in. Companies trying to move into the USA in record numbers. Highly doubt that, but Trump will say what he needs to say to get people on his side. Let's see. John's asking, I have a question. If ATR was 49, why did you put 40 instead of 50? Because I'm not changing my TP stop loss. So if I was to enter these positions, I would have left it at 40. That's why I didn't enter them. But if I did enter them, I would have shifted them. The thing is, I'm trading like 30 accounts. So it's not going to be easy for me to shift from 30, 40 TP stop loss to 50. I would have to adjust my contract size. It's just a whole fiasco where I have to change everything. So I mentioned that I'd mark this up. I mean, I'm not entering it, but if I was to enter it, I would take the 50. But here I'd put 40 because that's what my TP stop loss is set to. That's why I said when these positions came up, I'm going to wait for the market to stabilize and the ATR to drop back down, but I'm not going to take it, but I'm going to mark it up for you guys because if I was to take it, that's what I would have taken it with. I just can't change my TP stop loss quick enough. I'm trading too many accounts. It's not like I'm trading one account and I'll just adjust my contract size and TP stop loss right away. I have to adjust all of them. So, I mean, you can only imagine if you have trouble changing one account, imagine trading or changing 30 accounts to, even with a 10-point TP stop loss, it's a big difference. It's easier to make it smaller, but to make it higher, it's a lot more difficult because you have to lower your contract size. And then you have to shift through all the accounts. When I'm going for a smaller TP stop loss, it's easy because I can just enter with a 40-40 and then I can adjust my TP stop loss. I'll make less profit, but my risk will still be the same, if not less. Yeah, it's just, I mean, if it was easier, I would, but I just can't on mine here. But yeah, I mean, typically you would take about, see, well, here's the thing, we're at 7 ATR right now, but if I change it back to 14, which I'm going to right now, you'll see it kind of shift a little bit. See, it's closer to 40 here. So, it would have been between 40 and 50, somewhere around there for TP stops. But you're right, John. I would have, if it was the case and I was like, okay, I'm actually going to be entering these trades, then I would shift my TP stop loss at 50. But right now, this is a temporary volatility. The volatility is temporarily high at the moment. Let's see what we got here. Christian said people are freaking out because Shein and Temu are not cheap now. I know I saw that they raised prices like 125%, which is crazy. Let's see. Ryan said, I've been watching Kodi for a while, but I finally pulled the trigger for a funded account. Is there a particular strategy I should practice more than another? I mean, you should practice whatever we're doing here, which is the MPS V2. I've only been applying one strategy this whole year, right? So if you've been watching it for a while, pretty sure you should be only following the MPS V2. That's the only strategy that I've been taking during these live sessions. So the ATR is starting to come back down, guys. We're currently at 44 ATR right now. We're looking at come down closer to 40. If it stays around 45, like higher, then we'll adjust our TP stop loss a little bit. But I think 40 should be fine. Because the thing is, if you look at our entries here, there's like little to no drawdown, right? No drawdown there, no drawdown there, no drawdown there. So since there's no drawdown, it's going to be easier for us to just hit our TP because we don't have to worry about our stop loss getting hit. Hopefully that's the case as it continues, but we'll see. We got news right here at 6:45. Let me go ahead and mark this up. Take that off. News at 6:45 was Chicago PMI, I believe. Yeah, Chicago PMI over here was negative. So last month it was 47.6, forecasted to be 45.5. It was actually 44.6, so it was a lot lower than expected. We'll see how price reacts to it. I'm going to take off this liquidity here. We have a new one down here. So here's the setup that that Brock has been looking at. Again, this isn't a strategy that we're taking, but I'm just going to watch it here. Look for it to maybe break above and retest something like that. Basically, we're looking for the fake out off this liquidity right there. This is a little tricky because this is a news candle, so I mean, price is likely to react to the news. So looking at the ATR right now, guys, you guys can see here that the ATR is dropping back down to 40. That was what we were looking for. So it should be, I mean, that's kind of what we're gonna be aiming for here. We're aiming for a 40 TP stop loss. So. All right, so this is that break and retest that, or it will be a break and retest if this ends up closing green, which is up higher. This could be a possible MPS V2 for a buy. There's not going to be any 1 minute rejections here. Or actually, there might be. No. No, it's too far down. There may be a possible rejection here off the 30-minute. Rejection right here off the 1 hour. Nothing off the volume profile. Rejection here off the clean sharp buy here could look good. It looks like obviously no support resistance down here is too far. All right, so we got some nice bottom rejections here off the 1 hour support. So looking at this here, this could be possible setup for. This looks like it'd be a possible setup for Brock. I don't know if Brock's here right now. Let's see. So this would be a possible setup for Brock. Basically, it's a fake out from liquidity right here, and then breakout retest off that zone right there. I mean, I'm not going to take this trade. We're just following it. This is like one of the entries that Brock has been wanting me to take a look at and pay attention to. So I'm not in this position here. I'm just going to be following it. When Brock does come back into the live later. I'm not in this position, guys. Just mark it up. This could possibly set up for an MPSV2 if the candle closes green. So we have a buy signal here of retracement, and if the candle closes green, it doesn't have to close green here, but eventually if it, I'll take this off to not confuse you guys, and I'll take a look at that later. But if it does close green, possible setup. The only problem here is that we have news coming up, and then we also have this news price right here. So there is news coming up right here. It's high impact news at 7 o'clock. You have to get in and out of this position very quickly. If it doesn't hit within the first 2 minutes, you probably want to get out right away. So this candle did not close green. There's no MPSV2 right there. I'm going to take this off just to clean it up a little bit. It's a little messy here. Price is traced back down here a little bit. There's no MPS here for a buy. So nothing there for a buy. If the sell signal here closes, possible MPSV2 for a sell. In order for there to be an MPSV2 here, we would need a buy signal, retracement, confirmation. There's no confirmation here, right? No, there is no green candle that came up after. So nothing there yet at the moment. Sell here might set up, but the problem with the sell here is that, like I said earlier, we're going to be at the red flags. I mean, sorry, not red flags. We're going to be at the news price at 7 o'clock. There's a lot of high impact news right here. So this has the power to really push price, right? We have core PC price index year over year, month over month. We have personal income, personal spending, pending home sales, month over month and year over year. It's gonna be tricky. The tricky setup if anybody's looking to take it. I think at this point we might be getting a little too close to the news. ATR is currently at 41, so the volatility is starting to kind of balance out a little bit. Let's take a look at the confluences over here. So there's a confluence here on the 1 minute. There's nothing on the 30. There's a confluence here on the 1 hour. Nothing on the volume profile. Possible rejection right here on the levels. Rejection right here off the support resistance. So the sells here could be good. I mean, they're looking pretty solid. I think Sam was looking to take it too, as he mentioned earlier. Oh yeah, so go to yeah, Tarek, I just saw your message. Go into trader.tradeovate.com, like the actual Tradeovate web platform, log in, go to your settings, go to add-ons, and then enable trading view. Sometimes it gets triggered. I don't know why it does that sometimes, but it like resets your settings. But once you do that, then when you go to trading view, you can log back in. You just have to enable it under your settings. Yeah, let me know if you still have issues, Tarek, but that should fix it. That's why usually when I log on to TradeOvate on TradingView, that's like the first thing I do because I've gotten that error before. There's two errors that I get a lot. I get that error, and then if you trade with Perdia, for some reason they make you enable your data every month, which is super annoying. So like if you're trading on Perdia right now, guys, probably by today or tomorrow, you're gonna have to go into your settings on Perdia on the actual website and then enable your data. Because it's happened to me so many times where like it's like the first of the month or the end of the month, and I try to take a trade in and it gives me an error on Perdia because they require that you set your data, but that's only for Perdia. All right, so there's a possible NPS v2 setting up right here, guys. The only problem is that we have news coming up in about 5 minutes. It's very high impact, so I would probably sit out of this until the news passes. I'd probably sit out of it even after the news passes to see how the market reacts to it, because it's a pretty big news event. It's not something small. Yeah, Sam said he's after sells, no sign of buyers yet for me. I agree. Oh, on Trade Um, yeah, for Trade you're are you trying to log into your Tradeify or Apex? Well, I don't think you have Apex, right? You'd have to use your Tradeovate login. So if you might be yeah on Tradeovate, you just got to make sure you're using your Tradeovate login, not your because what happens with a lot of people is they try to use their Tradeify login, but you got to use the like basically the same login that you use on TradingView. If you forgot it, just log into Tradeify and then it has your login details on your dashboard. You might just be using the wrong login. So if you log into the Tradeify, go to your dashboard on the top, it'll have your login credentials with your username and password. Oh, okay. You're copy pasting it. Yeah, that's weird. Let me check your error again. Yeah, I guess you just gotta wait for it to reset. Let's see what my trading data is. Your password looks really long. Oh, mine's that long too. Actually, no, you're right. It is long. It's like a weird password though. It's super long. It's like all these random letters. All right, no entries here right now. It's fine. You guys can just wait. It's we got the news coming up shortly, and let's see. The news is forecasted to be. Oh, okay, gotcha, Tarek. Yeah, so you already activated it. You're good then. Just gotta wait for it to allow. But yeah, there's a lot of news events here, guys. The change here isn't. I mean, it's not super drastic, but I'm assuming it's gonna be drastic when it actually comes out. So we got the news coming up right here in about 2 minutes. Core PC price index year over year, month over month, price index year over year, month over month, personal income, personal spending, home sales, etc. It's a little flurry of news events right there. forecasting them to be all negative or majority negative. Yeah, so just expect there may be a possible price hike here. Or price spike, not price hike, price spike. So Sam's sitting in a sell, breaking retest, close out at 130 pips. Nice work, Sam. Solid work there. There's no MPS V2 that's come up yet. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to take one even if it does come up because we got news coming up right now. Yeah, Nick's at ATR getting lower, charging up. I know it's down at 37. It's probably going to spike right here on this next candle. I don't know how big of a spike. I mean, I'm expecting some sort of reaction in the market because it is so many news events at once right here at 7 o'clock. We got the news coming up in about 15 seconds right here. This whole block of news right here. This is why the volatility is starting to die down because people are waiting for that news event to pop up. Yeah, news right about now. That was a little anticlimactic, but let's see what happens here. It's starting to push up, push back down. Let me mark up news real quick. So like I said, it's going to affect the market, but it's not necessarily going to be like, it's not going to be like a 300-point candle. It's not NFP, right? On Friday, that's a different story. So on Friday, you're going to see the huge spike. You're going to see like 100-point or like, yeah, you're going to see 100 to 300-point move on the NFP candle. This right here may be like 50 points or so. Yeah. 50, maybe 60. So the news surprisingly was actually pretty positive. Right here, the price index, core PCE price index year over year was neutral. Month over month was pretty much neutral as well. Yeah, majority of the news here is actually positive, surprisingly. Personal spending's up. Pending home sales are up quite a bit. Yeah. Pending home sales are up a lot month over month. But this is normal. This is expected because we're going into the spring season. So people usually don't buy homes during the winter because it's too cold to move. So this was expected. Year over year, it's starting to kind of tighten up a little bit. I mean, it's still pretty low, but it's tightened up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised here with the price index though. The PCE and core PCE, it wasn't a big difference though. So like for example, here it was more like neutral, neutral, and then this one over here was like it went up like 0.1%, so it's not a crazy amount. So yeah, we'll see. The news there was positive. Price here is reacting to the news in a positive way, of course. It's now pushing up. This is where you want to be careful taking entries, guys, because if you are looking to take if you chase this buy right here, you might be caught in the news flux. So see how the price is going up? This is because of the news event. The news event happened right here at 7 o'clock. News was majority positive. So with it being positive right there, this here could just be small news reaction and then return back down. So you just want to be a little precautious around this area because you don't want to be jumping into something and then you're kind of just following the news movement and it doesn't actually continue that direction. Because overall, I don't think this is going to really make a big difference in the market, right? Like I said, most of the news here was neutral anyways. So it's not something that's really going to spike price up. It's just going to push price up slightly and then possibly come back down. Like I think this here is temporary because it was already dropping from everything else that was happening today. Dropping, temporary push up for news, and then possibly drop right back down. Not really seeing too much of a crazy movement there. ATR is still at 42, so that's good. Hasn't been a huge jump. Yeah, Shabam said, let's see if it starts coming down within the next 5 to 10 minutes for a sell MPS. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking for too. Not really, I don't really care to take buys here right now. I'm looking for that sell to come up. We have a new 30-minute candle here, so this is good. I actually would like the retracement to happen a little higher. So I wouldn't mind for this to retrace a little higher and then bounce off that value low and then come down. So push up higher wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, because there's no confluences here now for the market profile. So personally, I'd rather see this push up a little more than fake out back down, like a head and shoulders basically. So this is kind of what I'm looking for here. I prefer for it to come up a little higher and then come back down. Because if it pushes up higher, I'll be able to get some rejections right here off the value low on the 30-minute. Also, we'll be able to get a rejection right here off the 1 hour value low. Same with the 1 minute here. You know, price may push up, bounce off that value low, come back down. There's nothing on the volume profile. There's maybe one confluence here at that point. Levels chart over here. Oops, wrong thing. So the clean chart over here, basically, we do have one confluence off the 40,000 price point. And same with this right here. Projecting off the resistance. So we do have confluences here. I don't necessarily think there's no confluences. I think there are confluences. The only problem here, so here's the thing. We have, this is kind of a red flag sandwich as what we call it. We have news price right here, and we have the 7 o'clock news price right here, right? So in order for me to take a sell here, like I would need price to basically be below this point, right? Like I would rather take my sell down here versus in here. I mean, if anything, it looks like price here might consolidate for a little bit. The ATR is still fluctuating a bit. What you want to see here with the ATR is you want to see it kind of flatten out. You don't want to see it jump between like 40 to 45. You want it to stick around like 41 and stay there, or 42 and stay there, versus having those big fluctuations. So we'll keep looking at the ATR to see if the market here is really stable. That's how you can identify if price is stable or not, if the ATR stays around a certain point for an extended period. So right here is good. You know, if you see this kind of like fluctuate by 1 point, then this is good. But if you see it to fluctuate 5 points, like say it goes from 40 to 45 to 50, then that's not what you want to see because it's not giving you a stable price. The ATR is kind of just, you know, bouncing around. There's an MPSV2 that just closed right here. It looks like Sam might have taken it. So I'll mark this up for you guys if anybody is looking to take that there. This is the MPSV2. It's currently running in profit. I just didn't see any confluences there for myself to take it for a buy. I don't know if anybody else looked to take that, but Sam did get in right there. Looks like it's on its way up. There was like one confluence here on the clean chart. It's kind of just consolidating within these two prices right here. So if you look at this, it's consolidating within a 50-point range. So basically, right here, it's ping-ponging between these two levels. I just didn't really see any confluences there for me specifically. Like I didn't see, well, I mean, there's one here on the clean chart, maybe one here on the, for this one, I would see the rejection from the top end, not the bottom end. Let's take this off right here. Nice. Sam actually got out at 25. So Sam's getting in pretty quickly. He got in and out very quickly right there. Instead of going for the 40, he went for a quick 25 point in and out. Looks like there was no drawdown on his entry there because he's immediately on close. He would have gotten out quickly. So nice work right there, Sam. Yeah, sometimes you have to make those adjustments where you just get in and out very quickly. I mean, especially if it's you know, in an area where it's like I think this area right here is tricky, like I mentioned. It's a red flag sandwich, basically. We have an MPS V2 setting up right here for a sell now. So we had it here for a buy, now we're having it for a sell. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough space here to really take that. We get pretty close to that news price down there. It's kind of a good thing though. So here's the thing with these news prices. If you can get in and it aims for the news price, those news prices act as magnets, right? So like for example, if you were to get a sell entry here, you could probably write it down to the news price right there. Same with the buys here. If you get a buy here, probably write it to the next red flag, which is the news price right there. The weird thing is I haven't really seen too many sessions here. A lot of the sessions are up here. So if you look over here, prices just started dropping this morning. So this morning price started dumping right here. And when it started dumping here on open, there's actually no sessions right here. All the sessions are sitting above. So if I hide everything, the sessions are actually way up here. New York high, New York low, London low, London high, Asia low. So there's no sessions down here. All the sessions are above. So price right now where it's currently sitting, I think it's kind of far. If anything, I think buys here might actually be good now that I'm thinking about it, because price is so far down below. And let me mark up opening price. So if price does recover to the upside, there's going to be a lot of targets right here for price to come back and retest, right? So down here, there's actually nothing down here right now. Hide this again. So there's actually nothing down here. If price recovers back to the upside, there's all of these targets right here, right? All the previous session highs, all the previous session lows, and then also opening price, which is the blue line. So we also have the blue line right here. Yeah, Shivam said next quarter GDP is going to be so much worse if the trade deals don't kick in quick enough. As 3/4 of the first quarter was without tariffs. Yeah, I agree with you too, Shivam. I think the numbers are going to be pretty crazy. So Trump has pressure to negotiate the tariffs ASAP. Because the next quarter GDP, like in the summer, I think around, I guess like June, late June. Yeah, it's gonna make an impact, of course, for sure. All right, we got a pending buy signal right here. Unfortunately, there's just not going to be any confluences from the bottom end. Doesn't necessarily mean the buys are not going to be good. There's just not going to be very many confluences because price is so far below, like what we talked about earlier. Yeah, price is having trouble getting past the news price right there. See how price is bouncing off this pink line? This is why we try to avoid the news price, because stuff like that happens. This NFP week hasn't been as crazy as it's been in the past. It's actually a little slower than usual. Not necessarily a bad thing. So looking at this right here, ADP job reports for April. Private payroll growth slowed to 62,000 in April, well below expectations. So it looks like a lot of jobs are either not hiring or they're laying people off. Payroll is a lot lower. We have a possible MPS V2 for a buy here starting to set up. So Sam's he's looking out for a liquidity sweep at 477. Let me go and mark up my levels here again. So I'm gonna mark up yeah, it's literally exactly where you have it at. Sam. I'll clean these up right here. Trigger writing. Yeah, so we'll see. We do have liquidity sitting right there, like you said. So that would actually be a good target. If you have an MPSV2 that kind of retraces back right here a little bit and then comes back down, I can see that sweep happening, right? So this is kind of what Sam is looking at right here. Something like that, right? Yeah, because what happened here is the people who are chasing the sell, they're getting stopped out. So like basically people who entered sells down here, like for the bigger move, they're getting stopped out because price is retracing back to the high point. So we'll see. Or this could be a full on continuation. Like this could be reversal from here and a continuation back to the open. I mean, who knows? Who really knows, right? I can't say for sure. Let's take a look over here. So the 1 minute's shifting up, 5 minutes shifting up. I mean, everything is bearish right now still. So like literally everything here is bearish. So that's why like, Sam's analysis does make sense because it looks like there may be a liquidity sweep there and a correction back down. Where I mean, the 1 minute could be leading and a lot of these here can follow. Right, so we have a possible setup right here for MPSV2 if the candle closes green. Let me go ahead and take a look at the confluences. I don't think there's any confluences here. Actually, the sells here might work better, guys. I think I'd rather take a sell here. So looking at this, it did exactly what I mentioned earlier. So this is what I was telling you guys earlier, right? On the 30-minute, I said, let's wait for price to swing up and then bounce off that value low and come back down. So it's right at the value low now. There. Same with the 1 hour here. So I'm with you on your analysis right there, Sam. There's a possible MPSV2 here, but like Sam said, I think this might be a liquidity grab or a sweep. Possibly a sweep and a swing back down. There's no confluences for a buy anyway, so I mean the buys here just wouldn't really make sense to me. Not yet, at least. Yeah. All right, so there goes a sweep that Sam mentioned. I'm gonna look for it to come back down, guys. There's more confluences here for a sell than there are for a buy. Yeah, sorry, I said can't trade, but I'm here for support. Waiting to be able to get back into the account. Yeah, it's hard. I think it's about like a 30-minute wait, right? Usually. All right, so we got some confluences here. Go back and take a look. Yeah, so there we go. See the rejection right there off the 30-minute? It's doing exactly what we anticipated, so this is perfect. The sells here will probably look pretty good if and when they come up. We would need the sell signal first before we can take that though. So we're waiting for it. The ETR is currently at 38, so it's right about where it should be, around the 40. Still no sell signal yet. Yeah, that's crazy. So Shivam said, crazy fact, for every $1 a US consumer spends, all the remaining global consumers spend 6. That's nuts. Shows how big the US economy is. That's crazy, yeah. That is nuts. All right, yeah, sure, Steven. What's your question? Question to Sean. I have a question for MPSV2. Yeah, sure. Can I answer your question right now? We have some downtime until we get that sell signal. No, the TP stop loss that I'm using is 40. So that'd be 400 for you on indices. Yeah, because we're basing it off the ATR, Steven. It's like what we talked about when we met, right? You basically want to set your TP stop loss to closer to whatever the ATR is. The ATR is currently at 36, so you'd have it closer to 400 basically. I mean, you can do 50, you can do 500 if you want. It's just going to be kind of wider, and you might not be able to hit your TP right away. It might hit it, like it'll probably hit, but it'll probably take longer for it to hit. If anything, you can start with the 500 and then you can adjust it down if you like. Yeah, exactly. If you want to close it manually, you can do that too. So no sell signal here yet, guys. Just a fake out. Looks like a fake out off the off that liquidity level. Price came up, grabbed liquidity, faked out again, and now it's back up right here. Tricky movement right now. I was hoping for it to come back down, but if it doesn't come back down, that's completely fine. I might have to wait until 7:30, guys. So like around 7:30, the 30-minute candle here is going to close. The reason why I would have to wait for that is because this candle here is going to close down the middle, which I hope it's going to stay within this area. And then we'll have opportunities for confluence here on the 30. So I actually would like it to close somewhere up here. I'd rather have it close somewhere up here and down this middle area versus anywhere below. Yeah, no problem, Steven. All right, we're just waiting. And there's not much happening here. It's going to take another 9 minutes for this 30-minute candle to close. I mean, it wouldn't really matter because there's nothing to take here anyways. Actually, so now that I look at it, there's an A++ that came up right here. Here, let's mark up the direction of price because we haven't done that in a while. So we have the sellers right here. We have the buyers right here. So the buyers push price up, quick little drop right here with the sellers, and then push back up right here. Thereafter. Okay, so now that I've looked at this right here, there's actually an A++ that came up right here. So price came up, retraced, came back up right here. MPSV2 that came up right here. I don't think it played out. Measure it. Yeah, this MPSV2 unfortunately did not play out. Or actually, no, it didn't play out. And then there's an A++ that came up right here off this engulfing. There's nothing else here to take yet though. So what I'm going to be looking for here is I'm basically going to be waiting for the 30-minute candle to close, which is the next 8 minutes. So I'm basically waiting for this 30-minute candle to close like somewhere down this middle area so that when it closes around here, you know, if price retraces back at all, I can get the rejection and write it up. Otherwise, if we get the push to the upside and continuation back down, that's fine too. Like we'll have rejection points on both ends, whether the top or whether the bottom. It's just being patient in a market like this, guys. You know, there's a lot of news that happened today, so a lot of stuff to kind of throw off your direction or price. And this is what I've been telling you guys, right? It's all about patience and discipline. You're going to see entries come up. Not all the entries are going to be very good. Not all of them are going to be bad. It's just you got to choose them wisely, especially if you're taking bigger risk on these positions. Yeah, Sam said I skipped A++2. I needed that level of break and retest for bullish move now. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for too, Sam. So there's actually a break and retest right here off the liquidity zone. Actually would have been decent to enter right here on the next candle, not this one, but the next one that happened after it. Yeah, so Sam actually got in right here, it looks like. That break and retest right there. Load it back up to the push right there. Let's see, Mike said MPSV2 failed at 35, full TP at 40. Nice, good to know more, Mike. Yeah, like I said, I think 40 is going to be a good threshold, I think. Like I probably wouldn't go lower than 40. I kind of like where it's at 40. If anything, I'll go in at 40, and if I need to adjust it to something tighter, then I'll adjust it. But I think I'm going to initially always go in at 40. I think 40 is a good number to set it up, just in case the ATR kind of pushes up a little bit, which is kind of what happened here slightly. Steven said also yesterday was a bad day for gold. Took 1 hour entry and ATR was about 100, but my trade hit stop loss. Yeah, did you take it for a buy or a sell yesterday, Steven? Because I was following the news yesterday. There was tariff news that happened yesterday, so you might have taken the entry when the tariff news was coming out. I don't really follow news after, like in the afternoon, but the thing that you have to kind of be wary about is like the tariff stuff. Usually the tariff news will come out in the afternoon because China, obviously they're on opposite time zones. So when it's nighttime here, it's daytime over there. So that's usually where they start to make remarks about the tariffs and stuff like that. That's why trading Asia session is very tricky right now. I mean, it's good and it's bad. It's good because the volatility is higher than usual, but it's bad because there's a lot of uncertainty because you don't really get Chinese news, right? The only news you get is if the US reports on Chinese news, unless you know how to read Chinese or Mandarin or Cantonese or whatever it is that they post in. It's gonna be hard for you to follow the updates. Unless you have a Bloomberg terminal as well. Um, yeah, I met this one guy at the gym. He's an analyst for investors, and he has a Bloomberg terminal, and he reposts stuff, but it's in Korean. So he gave me the website, but I can't read any of it because it's in Korean. He basically just posts updates from Bloomberg terminal. Thought about getting Bloomberg terminal, but it's not really worth it. Well, I mean, for me, it's not worth it because we're trading pretty small, or we're trading on smaller time frames. Yeah, so it looks like you took a sell, Steven, and it looks like gold went up yesterday. I mean, we'll pull it up for you real quick. So gold looks like it did go up yesterday, especially, like I mentioned, because the China news did come out. Yeah, I'm not sure where you took your entry, but so if you look over here during Asia, it was coming down a bit, and then it ended up coming right back up right here. What time was your entry, Steven? Because I don't know what this time is. I mean, I'm assuming it's 8 p.m. your time. It's the same time I told you not to trade. I think when we had our mentoring session, there was a specific time when I said you shouldn't trade around this time, and it looks like you traded exactly at that time. Because we looked back at the data for gold and we're like, okay, you shouldn't trade between a certain time period. And it looks like you traded exactly at that time period where we said not to. Um, yeah, 11 p.m. I think that's when we said not to trade, right? Because I said when it crosses over into London session, that's like not the time to trade because that's when the market goes kind of funky. It's like 11 p.m. We're on the 1 hour here. Let's see. So if you're 11 p.m., that would be it's 3 hours before 11, 10, 9, 8. Yeah. So when we talked about yesterday, I said we don't trade between 8 and midnight, right? I said only on the open, or well, we don't trade when it starts to cross over into London. So if you might want to go back and rewatch the mentoring session we had, Stephen, because I mentioned I don't trade like when I used to trade Asia session, which I don't trade Asia session anymore. When I used to trade Asia session, I didn't trade during a certain time because I said this is when the market starts to kind of go sideways and then it goes opposite. So maybe go back and rewatch the mentoring session, Stephen, because it seems like you trade at the same exact time where we said not to trade. Because that would be, yeah, 11 o'clock, that'd be 10, yeah, 8. So like between 8 and we went over examples too. I showed you like during certain time periods, this is where you should be trading. You're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But you still traded at that time. So if you want to go and take a look at it, you can go review our mentoring session and then just kind of get those times in place. I can't do right now. Obviously, I'm trading live. But if you want to, Steven, you can go back and review that. And I thought you were going to stop trading. You said you were going to stop trading at night altogether, right? I mean, it's all good. If you want to trade at night, go ahead. But we had we spent like a whole hour or 2 hours talking about like why you shouldn't trade at night because that's where you lose all your profits most of the time. All right, guys, back to the charts here. There's nothing to take here at the moment. We have gas stock change, which is at 7:30. This is going to be, it's not going to affect the market very much. This happens every month. It's not something that's like really moves the market very much. So right here, we had gas stock change. It was pretty much mixed. We had crude oil, which was positive. We have gas stock change, which was negative. We had distillate stock change, which was, I mean, this stuff's irrelevant. But these two right here are pretty much the medium impact stuff. Oil and gas stock, which was mixed. So Sam, look, it's kind of doing what I was talking about earlier, right? So I mentioned earlier because what Sam was kind of looking for was the liquidity grab and fake out back down, right? And I said, yeah, that could be a good, like that could play out. But I was like, think about this though. What if this becomes a full-on reversal and then it pushes back up to opening price? And I think that might be the case here. So 30-minute candle just closed, guys. Looking over here at the 30-minute time frame. There's going to be a couple of things here to look at. So let me mark this up right here. This is going to be the value high. I'm going to color this red. One hour over here is red right there. There's nothing here on the volume profile. Okay, so there's a couple of things here that I might be looking for. I'm either going to look for a retracement down and continuation back up, like a W shape like that, or I'll look for a possible push up, grab liquidity, and fake out back down. I'm going to disregard this news event. So if we have news where price comes up and comes back down, I'm going to disregard it. If we have a good entry on that point, I'll still take it. Because like I said, gas stock change here doesn't really affect the market very much. Nice, Shabam. So Shabam took the 29 entry right here. Then he wrote it up a little bit. For Shabam. So here's Shabam's profits for the day. Solid. Nice win on that one. Looks like this one's back to break even, which is cool. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Shabam said bottom 3 accounts got funded, 2 blown on GDP news. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it looks like you made profit on it and then you lost 7. And that would have been close too. I think you're up for payout on this one, right? On this Tradeify? Yeah, you're at the 9,000 mark. Oh, you're doing the eval. Okay, you're not doing straight to funded. Yeah, because it's straight to funded, you'd be at payout already at 9,000. Gotcha. But you're still good right here. So pretty good over here on your Apex account. So solid work right there. You know, I was thinking about doing that the advanced, but I haven't I just hate doing evals. Honestly, the evals, I feel like it messes with my psychology. Because when I'm doing evals, it makes me want to take more risk versus when I'm just doing, I'm straight to funded or I'm already funded. It doesn't I just kind of stick to my routine. Yeah, Shalom said it depends for me. Don't have crazy capital so far. It's been cheaper with the advance. Yeah. I think your payouts are a little better on the advance too. That's like the pro and con about doing the eval versus the straight to funded. Straight to funded, we're capped at like I think 3,000 or 2,750 per payout. Um, while on advance, I don't think you're really capped out. Or you might be, I'm not sure. I just know that it's slightly different. Yeah, Tarek mentioned best time to trade is 6:30 to 8 a.m. Also based on what I've seen in the past. I used to trade gold as well. Morning's always better because more volume. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, Stephen, if you go back and review our mentoring session, because we talked about this for like over an hour, and I remember our discussion. So like we talked about how you shouldn't trade at the end, um, that you should only trade on the open, right? Because we talked about like where your wins and losses happen. We mentioned that you should basically trade at the beginning of Asia session. Like you shouldn't trade at the close of New York. You should trade at the open of Asia. You shouldn't trade between the middle of Asia because the market kind of dies down a little bit. And then you shouldn't trade because that's basically what happened. You traded at the middle of Asia. Your trade kind of sat there, and then once you got closer to the end of Asia, that's where your trade lost because the trade went the opposite direction, right? So I would say go back and review that mentoring session, Steven, because I don't think you understood like what we spent like a whole hour kind of discussing why you shouldn't trade at this time, and I think you still don't get it that yeah, because we talked about this like okay, got you. Yeah, so Steven said, now I see what you mean. I get it now. Yeah, because we spent a lot of time. I was explaining to you like why it was a bad time to trade in the middle. Because you traded in the middle, your trade sat there for a little bit because it's flat. And then once, your stop loss hit probably as you get closer to the end of Asia, because that's where the volume picked up and it probably did the opposite of what you initially saw. Like you want to trade when the volume is high, right? You don't want to trade when the volume is flat. You're trading on the higher time frame. It's like if you trade when the volume's flat, then you're going to be stuck in that position for like hours and it's going to end up it ends up becoming luck at that point. All right, we have an MPS V2 that is setting up right here, guys, for a sell. Let me go ahead and take a look at the confluences. There is nothing here on or there might be, let me see. Not quite. So not quite anything here on the 1 minute. Let's take a look at the 30. Okay, 30 is good. We have the rejection off the value low. That's kind of like over here. Perfect. Got the rejection right there. We have rejection right here as well on the 1 hour. Nothing on the volume profile. Right here on the clean chart, rejection off to 40,200. And nothing here on the support resistance, but there's pretty decent confluences right there. So here's the problem, guys. The ATR is extremely low right now. So if I do look to take anything here, I'll probably initially enter at a 40-40, and I'll probably make some adjustments to make it like closer to 30. The 40 looks kind of far out. All right, so 4 hours still looks like a sell, 1 hour looks like a sell, 30-minute looks like a sell, 10, 5, and 1 minute. Everything but the 1 minute, but the 1 minute is shifting back to the downside. So middle time frames, 5 minute, 10-minute bearish, 30-minute bearish, 1 hour bearish, 4 hour is neutral, switching to bearish, and the 1 minute here is shifting to the downside as well. So we got this right here. I mean, we'll see if the volume picks up at all, but see if it comes back down low. I don't want price to be up here at the news price, of course. ATR is kind of low, guys. 31 ATR. All right, so basically I need a red candle to close below this black line right here. Buy signal comes up. Buy signal comes up, no longer any more sells at this point. It looks like we might be shifting back up to a buy, which could be useful too, because we have the rejection right there on the 1 minute. So the buys here are actually fine too, guys. We have rejections right here on the bottom end as well. So we don't only have to look for sells here. The buys are going to be fine as well. Just got to watch it. Sorry, Sam, I just saw your message. Sam said 4309, 4307, 5-minute order block is my sell. Yeah, so 4309. 4309. Oh, okay, you're looking for it to push up over here. Yeah, I mean, there's confluences up there. Once we get closer to that point, I guess we can kind of see a little better. So 4309, there's going to be like value lows up here. There's one at 4300. It's at 309. I mean, there's going to be bounce areas around that point. Not exactly at 309, but around there. Yeah, it's all good. Once we get closer to that price, we'll take a look and we'll see if that gets set up. All right, the sell is still setting up right here, guys. Sell could be setting up right here. 30 seconds left on this candle. I'll keep watching it. I'll see. This looks like it could be a good setup for a sell. It's got 20 seconds left on it. It's got to like for sure close below. I can't have it where it's bouncing back and forth like how it is right now. It's not looking like it's going to close below. Let me see. I just got to watch it. All right, let me get in. There you go.
Or
So let's see. The setup was. So I'm going to mark up the 30 because I think this might be a little too far out, possibly.
order filled.
Yeah, what is this, 17? Yeah, I'll see how the volatility moves around. If the volatility is too slow, then I'll obviously make some adjustments there. Gotta move this up a little higher. Let me see what the numbers are here. So the stop loss gonna go to 86. And the TP's gotta go down to 16. And it looks like my entry is like pretty far down. Maybe by like a point or so. Measure this. Measuring so. So this thing might have to. So I had some slippage there, about like 4 points, it looks like, for my entry. So I got in with like 40-40. It's gonna hold on to it for a little bit. The volatility here, I'm probably gonna get stopped out. It's all good. Stopped out on that. All right, so there goes that, which is all
Stop
good.
filled.
Stop filled. I mean, it looked like it could have been good. The only problem here is that price is just going back and forth. But let me check the confluences. It was just, there wasn't like enough for it to be like super, super good trade. But the entry right here, let's see, the entry was at, so we did have a rejection right here. What are my choice? 40, the entry was at 42. So I mean, the confluences were there. We had this right here. So I would consider this, fair loss. It's just kind of part of the game. Fair loss right there, because we did have the rejection right here off this at the entry point. Yeah, the confluences were good. We had the 1 minute rejection off the top end right there. We had the 30-minute rejection right there. We had the 1 hour rejection right there. Nothing on the volume profile. We had the whole number rejection right here at the 200. So there's confluences there. It was a good trade. It was just a lot losing trade, which happens. All right, so let's see if we find another one here. If we don't see another one, then it's all good. It's 7:45 right now, so we're getting closer to 8 o'clock. Yeah, Samtic stop loss too happens. There was nothing wrong with it. I mean, it looked like a good one. This right here, so it was kind of tricky when it was coming down, but it came down like exactly how I wanted to. It came down as a full candle. This one over here, if it closed like this, I would have been like, no. But this over here closed down as a full candle. And my target would have been the actually this liquidity is already done with. But I would have aimed for that lower target right there. See what else we got. So now that I'm looking back at this right here, it looks like this could have been a liquidity sweep to the upside. That was like right on the entry candle. This will probably continue pushing up higher, I think. Or actually, no, I take that back. So the market is pretty messy right now with regards to liquidity. So like there could be liquidity sweeps on both ends. So for example, this looks like our entry right here. It pretty much tapped liquidity and it shot up for a fake out. And then again, right here, it's tapping liquidity. And as it taps liquidity right there, it could be a possible fake out back to the downside. I'm gonna draw this real quick. It looks like price is kind of just ranging within this area now. So let me draw this. Yeah, it looks like price here is probably going to sit within this range for a bit. It's a little messy, but you guys can see. Yeah, exactly. Babbitt said, stick with my 1 loss per day, no more trades for me. Same here, guys. I'm done trading for the day. My like usually what I aim for is like if I have 1 loss for the day, I'm pretty much done. It just works out better for me that way, so I don't end up trading on tilt. You guys know what happens when you take more than one trade, or if you have a loss and then try to make it back. It looks like this spike over here was just unlucky for us, honestly. Like it looks like price here was in this range, and then it's now coming back down. So I think price will probably sit in this range for a while. All right, unfortunately, loss for the day, guys. Let me go ahead and put this over here. The good thing is that it was what I consider a fair loss or a good loss. Like the loss there happened, but it was all the criteria and everything was lined up. So I'll make this a little bigger so you can see everything else that came up. And I will put my loss here. So we have this for our documentation for the week. So loss right there for 40 points. All right. So with that said, we'll keep looking for anything here. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. The volatility here is kind of like, I think we're going to stay in this consolidation for a while, so I'm not really expecting too much to happen unless price actually breaks out of this area and continues climbing. So what I see here is price is probably just going to hang out around here for a bit. Here, I'm just going to clean this up, take off the liquidity, like all the used liquidity basically. There we go. So you guys can see this a little cleaner. So we're basically in this consolidation range. See, this is what I was looking for earlier. I was looking for price to break below, continue down from here. So there's a couple of things that you guys can look out for here. See where price is currently sitting within this range. Either look for, I think there's going to be a fake out though. I don't think this is ready to push to the upside. I think what's going to happen here is this is probably going to maybe break above a little bit and then come back into the range. Kind of similar to what happened with our entry down here. There he goes. It pulls back into the range. So I'm not really expecting too much to happen here, guys. Probably not going to break out of this range for like another 10, 20 minutes. Let's see if there's any other news events for today. No, nothing today. So there's 17-week bill auction at 8:30, which is low impact, not really going to affect anything there. Tomorrow we have some high impact news events in the mornings. We have initial jobless claims, 4-week average, continuing jobless claims, manufacturing PMI, manufacturing prices, manufacturing employment, manufacturing PMI, ISM. So all the news events are pretty much happening in the morning. We have news events at 5:30, 6:45, and 7 o'clock, very similar to what happened today. And then of course on Friday, this is where the heavy stuff happens, the NFP news. So yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. It's 7:51 right now. It's getting closer to 8 o'clock. Like I said, I don't think anything is really going to happen here because price is going to continue to consolidate within this range. So unless you're trading a sideways strategy, I would probably be very careful about taking the directional moves. Because obviously this isn't a directional movement right now. Price is going back and forth. It's easy to get caught in these rejections, if not fake outs, at the top or lower ends, or even outside of them. The volume here is starting to die down too. So like I said before, guys, usually around like 7:50 to 8 o'clock, around that time, the volume starts to kind of flatten out. This is because people are going to lunch in New York, right? New York is, it's currently about to be lunchtime there. It's 8 o'clock, so 9, 10, 11, yeah, 11 o'clock. People are starting to take off for lunch. So you're going to see the market here start to slow down a little bit. It'll probably pick back up in about an hour or so. And here we got price breaking outside of the range here. If price does close outside, what I would say is be careful for the fake out, because this here is probably going to maybe fake out and then pull back down. And that's just from what we've typically seen. Otherwise, if price does climb back up or climb up higher, there's going to be a lot of red flags here still. Yeah, Sam said, thanks, bro, for today. Looks like it may range slowly upwards to my area, then sell off. Yeah, I agree. Or it might even fake out right here off that liquidity and then pull back into the range below. So, all right, Christian's done today too. Steven's done. Again, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. I think I'm gonna wrap this up as well. There's just nothing here to take. And if you guys do decide to trade, make sure to keep an eye on the ATR because the ATR is currently at 36. So if this thing goes any lower, then and there you go, it went lower again to 34, 35. If it goes any lower and it doesn't go any higher, then it's probably going to consolidate a range for a bit. I think price is going to fake out right here. I don't think this is going to push up any higher. Looks like price here is probably going to fake out and then swing back into the range. There's an MPSV2 setting up right here. So we have a buy signal, green candle, possible red candle here closing. If the red candle closes and the next one's green, then you may have opportunity to ride this to the upside. So if you ride this to the upside, I mean, it's going to be really close to the session. So if you do get a buy entry here, it's going to be really close to the sessions above. And it looks like the fake out that I just mentioned is playing out here. Yeah, right back into the range. Let's see. CJ said, "Hey Sean, how are things going with Take Profit Trader? I missed the last promo they had for the straight to funded." I don't think Take Profit Trader has a straight to funded, CJ. Because I'm on Take Profit Trader, but like I'm in limbo because like for a while I was kind of just going back and forth. I'm in profit, but it's like it's not enough to pass it yet because I think the profit goal on because I was taking half contract sizes for like the last 2 weeks, so I'm in profit, but I'm not enough to pass it yet. I don't think Take Profit Trader has straight to funded. You might be talking about Tradeify. Take Profit Trader is they only have evals. I'm seeing, yeah, I don't see any straight to funded here. Yeah, I don't think Take Profit Trader. If they had straight to funded, I would have gone straight to funded, but they don't have it. It's only evals. Tradeify has straight to funded and Purdy has straight to funded. The thing with Purdy is they haven't given me my account yet because I need to get that Series 3 license. Ninja's not giving me any more live accounts right now. They're not letting me trade anybody's accounts until I have the license for the Series 3. So I got to work on that still. Yeah. All right, Shivam. Shivam's done for the day. So we'll see you back here tomorrow, Shivam. Sure, Steven. What's your question? Yeah, there's only two straight to funded companies that I use, which is Perdia, and I'm waiting for them to give me my live account. I don't think they can give me my live account because Ninja won't approve them until I have my financial license at Series 3. So I'm not really bugging them about it. I'm just gonna wait until I have my license. Take Profit doesn't have it, and Tradeify is the only other one. All right, so this is an MPSV2 setting up for a buy, guys. Over here. So this is setting up for a buy right here. You get in on this one, Tarek? I think you might have gotten in a little too early on yours, but it's all good. You still got in because the momentum was right here. Yeah, I think you might have gotten in a little early, but it's all good if you did. Still hit. So here's the other one over here. Yeah, so this is like the actual setup, but I'm glad yours hit, Tarek. You got in, got out quick. This one here is probably gonna hit too. The actual one. CJ got in for 30 points too. Nice. Yeah, so this one here is starting to play through. I mean, unfortunately, I got caught in the bad one earlier, but this one over here looks like it's going to actually play through. I don't know. The volume's pretty low, so like maybe you want to go for something smaller, like 30 or 35. Yeah, as we get closer to 8 o'clock, it's about to be 8 o'clock right now, guys. As we get closer to 8 o'clock, the volume starts to die down. So you're gonna start to get a lot of these movements where they kind of go sideways, not really. And I'm actually glad that this one hit stop loss right away because I hate when it goes sideways for a while and then it reverses, right? Like I want to know right away if it's my CP or if it's my stop loss. This right here looks like it's about to hit, but it's probably gonna take a while. Yeah, it's about to cut into 8 o'clock right now. So once it hits 8 o'clock, you're probably gonna get lower volatility and sideways move at that point. CJ said got it for 30, would have taken it for 40, but the sessions are my Achilles heel. I know, same here. I'd have agreed. Steven said if we take the entries you take, do you think this will be enough to pass the eval in a month? Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends if you're using the proper risks, even. You're not really using the proper risks though, so I can't really say for you because you're kind of doing like you're kind of trading random. You have to let him hit your TP. Like you talked about earlier, you said you're going to use a 50-50. You're probably not going to hit your goal if you're using a 50-50 and entering, exiting manually. You're going to have to use proper risk, proper contract size, and hold your positions to the full move. So, I mean, yeah, it's possible, but for you specifically, Stephen, it doesn't seem like you're really following what you're supposed to do. You're kind of just going off the fly. So, I mean, I can't say for you, but if you do follow it properly and you're using proper risk and you're using proper contract size and making the profit that you need, then you should be able to pass. Because if you're doing an eval, you should be able to pass within 3 to 5 trades, right? I think that's like the threshold, depending on your account size. So if we have 3 to 5 wins for the month, which we usually do, you should be able to pass an eval no problem. But if you can't be doing, and there you go, full TP with this MPSV2, guys. So unfortunately, I got caught in this one over here, the unlucky one, but this one over here did play out pretty nicely. I mean, it took a while for it to hit, but it did hit right there for a full TP. For those of you who took it, looks like CJ got it, Tarek got it, a couple other people got it here as well. I'll just post this up in the chat so that you guys have an idea of like what came up right there. Yeah. All right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Nice work. Mike caught it. Art caught it. Solid work, guys. If you guys have profits to post up, feel free to send them in over here at the Team Profits. We got Shabam here. He locked in some pretty good profit for the day. And I'm sure a lot of you guys here did as well. So, all right, guys, that's it. It's 8 o'clock. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, I will be back here, same place, same time tomorrow as we continue on with this trading week. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys back here.